this message is for the U.S. men's hockey team from a hockey fan married to a lifelong player raising a son in travel hockey.
It's from somebody who's a hockey fan, season ticket holder.
A massive hockey fan.
The funny thing is, I actually thought I was going to be a fan of hockey for a brief second there until I just saw the men's USA team laughing on the phone about having to celebrate with the women's USA hockey team for winning gold. Laughing about how they have to be with them and celebrate together as like a country. So never mind.
Entire nation just fell in love with the men's hockey team just for that same nation to then immediately hate their guts. I've never seen anything like it before.
As a girl who played hockey on a boys hockey team, it's not that surprising.
We'll get told to get over it, and guess what? We will. Because that's what women in sports and around sports always have to do. You have to be the bigger person. And you keep showing up despite knowing that those are the kind of things, those are the kind of hee-hee-ha-ha jokes that get said.
We have to bring the women's team. Can you imagine?
But he's making fun of them.
I just thought the joke was distasteful.
This is Hillary Knight,
unfortunate,
from the US
and I think just the way women are represented, it's a great teaching point to really shine light on how women should be championed for their amazing feats. And now I have to sort of sit, and anybody has to sit in front of you and explain someone else's behavior. It's not my responsibility.
I'm not going to share here the video of what started all this. You've probably seen it, or you can Google it, with Kash Patel chugging beers in the men's ice hockey team locker room after they won their gold medal. And then Trump calling in and mocking the gold medal winning U.S. women's hockey team. But I do want to share some, now that the dust has settled a bit, some of the best reactions to all of this online. Take a look.
Oh, the president's on the phone. Great. Oh, he just said we have to invite the women's hockey team too. Yeah, no, what the fuck?
Okay, sound off, because this is copyrighted music, but POV, you won a gold medal and don't have to visit the White House. President Flavor Flav has released details for his celebration of all U.S. women's Olympians this July in Las Vegas. And credit to Donald Trump to get me to care about, or at least pay attention to, something that I really didn't before. I guess back in the day it was emoluments. Now it's ice hockey, but here we are. So here's what Flavor Flav said about the event.
Hey, yo, Hillary Knight and the women's hockey team. I know y'all got my invite to come to Vegas. I want to bring all United States female Olympians and Paralympians, the ones that won medals. I got you guys covered. All right, we're going to throw a big party. I mean, we got to build up everybody. And that's what this is all about. Support women's sports. It's all about women's sports, baby.
There's going to be hospitality and parties and a parade in Vegas. And he even set up a GoFundMe. If you want to support, it's already raised over $100,000.
Team USA's Flavor Flav invitation to have the ultimate celebration in Vegas. We doing this?
I hope so. I mean, you can't turn down a Flavor Flav invite, right?
Flavor Flav just invited me to Las Vegas to party with the U.S. women's gold medal winning hockey team and with all the other women Paralympians and Olympians. And I'm just like having to just be in this airport with that knowledge alone, and I can't celebrate with anyone. Like, what do you mean you coming, coach? I'm so there. I'm absolutely there. And not only that, let me know what I can do to help.
Hi, this message is for the U.S. men's hockey team from a hockey fan married to a lifelong player raising a son in travel hockey. No one is surprised that FBI Director Kash Patel showed up in your locker room after your big win. Congratulations, by the way. And of course, no one is surprised that Donald Trump called you and made a joke at the expense of the gold medal winning U.S. women's hockey team. Are we sad that those two represent the type of men leading our country? Ew, of course. But are we surprised by their behavior? Of course not, because we already knew exactly what kind of men they are. But we're disappointed in you. You chose to let Kash Patel in and chugged a bunch of beers with him instead of distancing yourself. You took the president's phone call and then laughed about the joke about inviting the women. The women, as in the most dominant program in U.S. hockey history. Yeah, the U.S. women have won 3 gold medals, and so have you. In fact, they've medaled in every single Olympics since women's hockey was introduced in 1998. So yeah, they have as many gold medals as you do, but they've actually done it in a quarter of the time. So historically, they're the most consistent and dominant program of the two. And yet somehow, You get the majority of the headlines. You get the spotlight and the cultural relevance and the lucrative brand deals. Imagine joking about the team that set the fucking standard. Is that insecurity? Do you know that there are little girls in the stands at every game wearing your name on their jerseys? Because that's who you're laughing at. You know, we don't call it men's hockey. We just call it hockey. And that's because women had to fight to even be allowed in the room that you inherited.
It's from somebody who's a hockey fan, season ticket holder. My issue is that they are doubling down after the fact.
Yeah.
If you want to say they got caught up in the moment, it was weird, you know, they were riding on a high from just winning the gold, and the FBI director was there and shoving the phone in their face, fine. That's fine. I will give them that. And I'm not going to dispute that they have an amazing relationship with the women's team. I'm not going to dispute that. But you're now realizing that people are really upset about this. Why not just come out with an apology?
Right.
Why not just come out and say, you know what? In retrospect, in hindsight, we could see how this upset some people, and we are sorry. That was not our intent. That's it. That's all you have to say.
That easy.
Like, but they are doubling down and like, oh no, you guys are crazy. You guys are lunatics. You guys, you know, misinterpreted. You know, you already hate, you know, the president, so you're looking for things. It has, at this point, it has nothing to do with that. At this point, you are being told by both men and women how upsetting this was for some people. Just apologize.
Okay, this is a sample apology. This is it. Literally all it would take. Jack Hughes, for your consideration.
The gold, everyone was so excited. And getting a call from the President of the United States was like icing on the cake. That whole conversation just felt like a blur. But now that everything's settled down and we've watched the clips back, it's totally clear why some people are interpreting the situation like they are. So we want to make something clear. The women's hockey team has won a gold medal that is just as gold as ours. And they deserve to be included in all of the celebrations at the White House just like we are. And we'll settle for no less.
Also, Ashley's comment section here is on fire.
Everything is so political. We're athletes. We're so proud to represent the U.S.
If you've ever wondered what gaslighting looks like and dismissiveness, well, you just saw it. Because he had an opportunity to say, you know what, I probably shouldn't have laughed at that joke. I do realize now that that was very misogynistic. But no, instead he tries to deflect and say, you know, everybody's just so political.
I'm a massive, massive hockey fan, and I'm in the hockey community. The way to address this is just to address it, to find ways, use some of the guys, talk about it in a way that's understandable, and just address it and move on. You have to know this is a culture, hockey, rooted in misogyny. And it has been for many, many, many years. And it is changing, and it is getting better. And I give a lot of people a lot of credit for that. The National Hockey League should respond. USA Hockey should respond. There should be some outreach to the community.
I need to know who the absolutely guy is. I need to know the man that said absolutely in the background of that video. I need to we need to figure out who that is.
We hear constantly, representation matters, right? And it matters in not just in, black, white, women, Asian. No, it matters for men who will stand up and do the right thing, even when it's uncomfortable. So I actually want to give a shout out to whoever in that locker room released that video to let the world know. And I just hope that some of those men that were in there that laughed, I hope when you went home, your mama, your girlfriend, your wife, or even your daughter looked at you crazy.
The worst thing about that USA men's hockey locker room video is that it is the ultimate reminder of how often women in sports get treated as a punchline. Like, even if you just won a gold medal, even if you just reached the pinnacle of your sport and dominated along the way, repping red, white, and blue, you won. And you still can be reduced to a punchline. Everything just, it felt so good. Like, that's why sports are awesome. This is how sports are supposed to make you feel. This is the good stuff. And then, poof. And we'll get told to get over it. And guess what? We will. We will, because that's what women in sports and around sports always have to do. You have to be the bigger person. And you keep showing up despite knowing that those are the kind of things, those are the kind of hee-hee-ha-ha jokes that get said. And that was on camera. So imagine what gets said off camera. It's just, it's a Gross. Anyway, shout out to the women who once again saved the USA's ass in the gold medal count and the total medal count. 8 of our 12 gold medals were won by women, and like 63% of our total medals were won by women. I think it's like the 6th or 7th straight Olympics between summer and winter where the women have exceeded the men in total medal count anyway. But yeah, I guess we have to invite the women to the
As a girl who played hockey on a boys hockey team, it's not that surprising to see how the men are treating the USA women's hockey team because, yeah, they're jealous. The US women's hockey team is better and they're more decorated, and they know that. And men can't stand it when you're better than them at anything, quite frankly, especially not a sport that they play professionally. So no, I'm not that surprised. And I'm also not surprised because this is the kind of stuff that I dealt with when I played hockey. I didn't even play for that long, but I had boys telling me that I deserved to be in their bed or in their kitchen, not on the ice. I had boys whisper gross things to me and say terrible things to me and then try to hurt me on purpose. So no, it's really not that surprising. I mean, what more do we expect from an organization like the NHL that allows players who are abusive to their spouses and girlfriends, who allows players who commit sexual assault, and just let them keep playing the game because they're allegedly good at it.
This is a retired pro athlete who hosts Shot of Culture podcast who talks about what she describes as the real disrespect, and that is how much athletes are paid according to their gender.
The women's team has been more successful. Surprise, surprise. There was a Forbes article that came out recently and listed individual player salaries for everyone that's on the team. In total valuation was around $226.5 million for Team USA men's hockey team. Now we are going to contrast that with the women's hockey team. And of course, it's going to be much less. But do you know? Take a guess how much less this could be? The PWHL is the Professional Women's Hockey League. The average salary is $58,350. The salary cap per team of the PWHL is $1.34 million. That means that the lowest paid player on one of these teams is making about $37,000. The real disrespect comes down to the fact that we expect women to do everything for the love, the emotional labor, the love of the game, and continue to pay them pennies compared to men who get to make a mockery of them, who get to make a fool out of them. The system seriously needs changing.
This is, of course, true across pro sports leagues. The issue has probably most recently been pressed in pro basketball. There's a relatively new women's pro sports league for several sports, although I don't think ice hockey is one of them. It's called Athletes Unlimited. I don't think that they've gotten the salaries where the men are in those other leagues, but they are at least trying to address some of the disparities.
Now, a day later, after Trump did invite the U.S. women's hockey team, it turns out they simply can't make it. Sorry, Donald Trump, we're getting our hair washed. I love them. And I'm going to just relate very quickly. When my son Louis was on a men's soccer lacrosse team, there was an audio of something where it really insulted the girls in the class really badly. And Louis wasn't singing the song. He was in the video. He wasn't singing the song. But I remember, when I saw it, I was so disappointed in him because he didn't say anything, right? He didn't and I know he couldn't. He was in the locker room. And so we had a great talk at the time. And I remember spending a lot of time talking to both my boys about their role in, like you say, protecting women, not just protecting, but don't laugh at stupid shit like that. Like, you don't have to go along just to get along. And it reminded me of that moment when Louis said to me at the time, I didn't do anything. And I said, you didn't do anything. That's exactly my problem with you at this moment. And I get it. I get it, what it's like being a boy. I get the pressures of it. But honestly, U.S. men's soccer hockey team, just be better.
And some of the things that I'm seeing online are exactly this, what Kara Swisher describes here, having a talk with your son.
We're going to have to bring the women's team. You do know that. I do believe I probably would be impeached, okay?
They laughed at you, women's team, when he said the women's team.
Yeah, why do you think they laughed?
Because they don't think they're as good as them. But
what was the joke?
I don't even know.
Yeah, I don't either, actually.
Because they both got to the same stage. He doesn't think they're as capable as the men's team.
Every guy who was on the team, do you think they all thought that joke was funny?
No. we all are different, so we all have different opinions, but they all laugh, because if you don't laugh, then you feel like not left out, but just like feel weird.
If everyone around us is laughing, should we find it somehow in ourselves? So how do people do
Because
that?
you don't need a membership to know what's right. You just need to know that it's right.
I love that.
Did you just see what just happened? Do you know who's on the phone, first of all?
Trump,
Yeah. And did you see what they said about the women's team?
that they have to bring them over.
That they have to bring them with? And then they all, what did they all do after that?
I don't know.
They laughed.
Oh.
Why do you think that they laughed if the women won gold and the men won gold?
The men think they're superior to them.
Have you ever been in a situation where you feel like something's wrong, but you go along with it? Yeah. The way that a lot of people took this video, and the way that I took it as a woman, is that they were trying to like diminish the women's accomplishments. Do you see that? Yeah. And the way that they
It's crazy right before Women's Month.
True, right before Women's Month. And on top of that, Layla Edwards is on the women's team, and she's the first black woman ever to win gold in hockey on the U.S. women's team. So it's like a historic moment.
And we have to, I must tell you, we have to bring the women's team. We do know that.
But he's making fun of them.
Okay, so almost everybody laughed with him. There was 2 people who said something. What else do you think he was implying was funny about this?
Like, kind of like, you guys don't deserve to hang out with them since you're way better.
Yeah.
That's what I heard in his voice.
Me too. And the fact that you are 11 and you hear that,
exactly what I was thinking.
And our 70-something-year-old president and a professional hockey team, gold medalist professional hockey team of adult men don't hear that and are willing to laugh.
Explain it like I'm a 5th grader.
That is what's so cool about your generation. And people like you, who, yeah, you're a kid, but when you're standing around in a group of your friends, of peers, and they start laughing about, we don't want to be with girls, we don't want to be like girls, being a girl is an insult, girls are a joke.
I actually, when, my friend that, told me, why hang out with the girls, I said, why shouldn't I?
Yeah.
There's no problem with that.
No. You don't have to laugh along. You can say, I actually don't think that's funny. Or have them explain it. Why is that a joke? Why is that funny to you? Right?
Then they might start to feel like there's no reason for laughing.
They might actually think about what they're saying.
These are really good conversations.
Right?
Some of these 11-year-olds get it. I think the silver lining to all this is it actually has generated a lot of good discussion, including a bunch of these clips, especially the ones with parents. It's mostly moms here, but hopefully dads too, talking with their sons about these issues. But like Hillary Knight said, it is not her job or the job of her teammates to do the explaining that clearly still needs to be done. I'm going to take us out with this one of my favorite clips from Trump's first term. U.S. soccer player Megan Rapinoe asked by a reporter if she would go to Trump's first term White House. This is what she said.
Excited about going to the White House?
I'm not going to the fucking White House. No, I'm not going to the White House.